Hello, my wonderful friends. So I've got a lot of stuff to do and this counter is packed. You can't see it all, but I have to prep toppings for tonight's pizza. I have to wash all of these tomatoes and I need to make my lunch salad. So I thought, might as well do it with all of you guys. You can hang out with me in the kitchen, ask questions if you want, but yeah. So we're gonna start today with the tomato washing. I'm just gonna wash all these tomatoes because it's so much easier to just grab and use instead of having to wash them all and all the extra process. So I like to wash all of the produce right off the bat when we buy it, when we bring it into the house, if we can. That way it's ready to go. Again, so much easier. But that said, I wanted to show you, where's my stuff? Here it is. I'm going to be using the Norwex. As you guys know, I really love the Norwex products. Link in the bio, and anybody who's in Canada who's interested in the Norwex, send me a DM and I can hook you up with a vegan ray of sunshine who has all the stuff for the Canadian Norwex orders. But yeah, Norwex, this is a fruit and veg wash. It's toxic free, it works amazing. So that's what I use. The reason why, aside from having it easy to eat, your produce lasts longer when you wash it, when you bring it in. So that's why I like to wash it. And also another reason is that it really greatly reduces the amount of fruit flies that you get. Because when you wash it, you wash away any potential eggs or anything like that down the drain, and you won't have to worry as much about fruit flies, but it does make your fruit last longer. So it's a great idea to do. So what we're gonna do is, yeah, like I've got so much stuff. I've got mushrooms and peppers that we're gonna chop, my red onion. This is the Norwex fruit and veg cloth. It's soft on one side and rough on the other side. So this is what I like to use to wash. And I also really like to use the net when washing, especially on the go for grapes. If you have like a bowl like this, for example, you can put the netting right over it, fill it with water and the fruit and veg wash, and put your grapes in it, let it sit for a little bit, play around with them, rinse it, and all you have to do is pull the sides up like this, and then drain all the water and then rinse it again if you want in the net. It's so much easier to eat healthy on the go when you have the stuff available to clean your produce or whatever like that. So what we're gonna do is, I've got my Vitamix, I've got everything out, guys, so I don't have to run around. All right, so, I'm just going to put a couple sprays into my, you don't need a lot, probably just a few. There we go. And then I'm just gonna fill this with water and put my tomatoes in. How's everyone doing? I heard the microbes keep the produce longer. I was told not to wash. I have found the opposite. I have found that the produce lasts longer if I wash it when I bring it in. But again, I mean, we eat this stuff within 3 days. So it's not like I need it to last 2 weeks or anything like that. So that said, I mean, I'm sure if you're letting it sit for a really long time, but then it ferments, it goes bad. I find things go bad faster if I don't wash them, but yeah, I guess it's just experiment. It's just experiment. So I've got my tomatoes over here sitting to rinse. I'm just gonna move these ones over and I'll gradually wash more tomatoes as we go. Right now, I'm gonna start chopping for our pizza. So this is a kind of like a ramen sauce. You can find the recipe in Meal Plan 2, but I've made this ramen sauce and I've added some garlic powder, but I wanted to add oregano. Oh, there's a new one. It's a new one. We go through a lot of oregano. There we go. This is the kind of stuff that makes prep take a little bit longer. It's like the little extra things, right? So there we go. And I want to add some smoked paprika. Add some smoked paprika to that as well. And then we can just mix this up. All right. So for this recipe, I am going to be chopping mushrooms, bell peppers, some jalapeno, and some red and yellow onion, and some green onions. But we're gonna start with the mushrooms first. And I have this epic mushroom slicer, like this. It's metal, so it doesn't break. I've had a couple of the cheaper ones that just have the wire break, but this one's pretty awesome. I'm not sure where Nate got it, but if you can find a metal one, they are so worth it. I've got my Norwex kitchen towel that I can use to wipe my hands. And we also have the little tiny counter cloths. These have replaced paper towel in our house. Like, check it out. They're just little, and you wash them in the Norwex detergent to keep the integrity, but we love these so much. They've helped a lot in the kitchen when you just need, you know, the little piece, and it's really absorbent. So awesome. But yeah, let's get started on these mushrooms. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, because I'm just in here with you making all of this stuff, because I have to chop and do things anyways, so might as well do it with you. Because I love you guys. What's in the sauce? There's some coconut aminos. I have to add lemon juice. I'll probably do that in a sec here. Garlic, a little mustard powder, coconut aminos, did I say that? Coconut aminos. And yeah, lemon juice will be the next. I'll add that as well. But you can add anything you want. I think I put apple cider vinegar in this one too. Normally I don't, but I added it to this one. So yeah. Again, the recipe for the ramen sauce is in meal plan 2. And I have some other marinade sauces in meal plan 3. But really it's just like coconut aminos, lemon juice, and spices, and some other things. If you want to add whatever you want to add is cool. So this is how it's done. You create, you think of what you want to eat, you plan it out, you decide when you're gonna have to make things. And yes, the raw pizza is a little bit more intensive. The recipes for these, not the sauce, but all the recipes that we do for like the crust and some of the sauces and some of the toppings. It depends on what pizza we're making, but we get our recipes from Chris Kendall from the Raw Advantage. He's got an amazing pizza book, and we like to make the pizzas from his book. See how quick and easy this is, guys? I just don't like the long stems, but this is quick and easy and done. See? We got all of those mushrooms done, ready to marinate. Let's see, we got any questions here? What's your technique for cleaning the mushrooms? Most of the time, I don't necessarily always clean them unless they're like really dirty. The best way that I know if I'm gonna spend that extra time is to wet a cloth. Just slightly. You don't want it to be soaking wet, and you don't want to run them underwater because they get slimy and gross. So if you just wet it very, 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 very lightly, then you can just kind of rub them with the cloth. That's what I do. That's the way that works the best for me. That's the way I like it. So yeah. Now we've got our tomatoes. I've got to put another round in there. So pull my little dry rag here. And I'm gonna rinse these tomatoes. We've got tomatoes. Do you still make your that yellow mustard or just use powder? I love the that yellow mustard. I haven't made it in a bit. But I will make it, and I put it in like squeezy mustard jars. So nice to have that. But yeah, I just use mustard powder when I'm in a pinch or when I don't have it available. But that's definitely my favorite, that yellow mustard. So I'm gonna soak the peppers in that Norwex water. Again, for those who are new, it's the Norwex fruit and veg wash. I just like to spray them, get rid of all the ew off. I'll put these jalapenos in there too. And maybe a couple more tomatoes because I have room. There we go, see? I wish there was more room, but I got all of these soaking in here. Welcome to my kitchen, guys. I hope you are enjoying so far. Let's see, do you recommend your salad spinner washing and especially getting greens dry? Yes, this salad spinner is the OXO salad spinner. This is like so awesome. I really love that one. It's a little on the pricier side. I think it was $60, but so worth it, so worth it. We definitely use it very often. So we've got our box. I'm just going to put our freshly washed tomatoes in here. These will probably all be gone in a couple days. I'll just get that in there. We can move this out of the way. Like so. Cool. All right, what should we chop next? Let's see here. Exact same spinner, yes. Sweet, okay, so let's see, what do we do next? Oh yeah, I needed to juice the lemon. Since I'm gonna be juicing lemons, I'm also going to be making my salad dressing for lunch. So this is like a full-on dinner and lunch prep. Here's my cutting board. Grab a knife. And let's do lime. Let's do lime for the dressing and lemon for the marinade. There we go. If you guys didn't catch, we have an Instagram live. I can't seem to find my juicer. Where is it? What? I will just use this one. Normally I have the one that catches the seeds, but I don't know where that went. Where's the hub? Where's Nate? Nate is actually at work today. He works on a hemp farm and it's harvest season, so it's busy. They're working hard to get all the plants harvested and get everything ready for that. It was in the drawer. Actually, that's not the one I was looking for. We have a whole bunch. This one I'm not the greatest fan of. I don't feel it gets all the juice. It's yellow, but it's not in here. I don't know where it is. Oh dear, I'm going to have to find it because I love that one. But this one works. This one works. Okay, so I've got the, these limes don't have any seeds, so I don't need that thing. I might have to resort to the squeezy one. I wish I knew where it was. Oh my gosh. Do you guys ever do that? You lose something in your own kitchen. You're like, where did that thing go? Oh man. Oh well, it's all good. We'll figure it out. I'll just use the squeezy one for the lemons. But yeah. Haven't seen your lives before, so excited to watch. Any times for bloated tummy and stomach in general? Or you mean tips? tips. Yeah, it's fun to do these lives. I really like hanging out with you guys. I mean, I have to be in the kitchen anyways doing this stuff, so might as well do it with you, right? Yeah, so bloating. Bloating is, I would say, aside from like if you're eating too high fat and you're eating like a lot of fat with fruit, that can cause a lot of digestive upset. But I would say above all, it's sitting too long after eating. Like if you go to like a restaurant and you eat with friends and then you're just talking a lot and you're sitting for hours and hours and hours, you're not moving, everything's crunched over, that can cause a lot of gas and bloating after that. Not just the food that you're eating at the restaurant, but the act of sitting. That can cause a lot of issues, I guess I could say. But walking after you eat, making sure that you food combine really well, like fats with greens, fruit alone, and moving your body after you eat, and try not to talk when you eat. Try to focus on your food. That's why Nate and I play chess, because we don't talk a lot. We're just like focused on the game and focused on our salad, and we get it done in like 1 or 2 games. Sometimes we have to play 2 games, but it's not as often that we have to play 2 games. But yeah, that greatly helps with gas and bloating. Also, if you have gas and bloating from eating like things like broccoli, cauliflower, the rougher kales and stuff like that, it just means, in my opinion, that you don't eat them enough. And it doesn't mean to go out and buy like a whole bunch of broccoli and just eat it all at once. It's more like including it in smaller amounts in your daily diet. Like just like we're talking one little broccoli head. I have water in my eye. 1 little broccoli head, or not head, even a floret, like 1 a day. So grab like 1 little crown and just do 1 broccoli every day. It helps to feed the good bacteria that love the broccoli fibers. So that's how you can help to not really train, but grow those bacteria so that you can digest bigger amounts. That's my best suggestion for the gas and bloating thing. Yeah, all right. So we've got the lemon juice in there. And now, I think, let's do the onions. So here's the lemon. This is a lime juice for my lunch dressing. I'll just put that aside for right now. I'm gonna chop my salad too. So much to do. Let's see here. Love watching the lives. Thank you so much for joining. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. Great advice. Your advice on kombucha. And would you say low carbs for tummy? No. I am definitely not low carb. I eat a lot of carbs. I eat a ton of fruit. I eat lots of vegetables. I am definitely not low carb. I would say my carbs are like over 700 grams a day. Not low carb over here. We are low fat over here. And if you want more information on why low fat and the whole insulin resistance thing, check out my IGTV that I did yesterday with Robbie from Mastering Diabetes. We talk all about the low carb, high carb thing. And we are high carb. I lost 70 pounds eating high carb, but it was low fat. It was low fat, keeping things in appropriate amounts. It's not about limiting. It's about eating appropriate amounts of fats, which really isn't a lot. We overdo fats way too much. So if you're trying to lose some weight, definitely check your fat percentage. See how much fat you're eating and lower that down and just increase your fruits and vegetables. You never want to restrict. When you're eating a raw diet, you cannot apply the same dieting tips and tricks or whatever that society uses, like calorie restrict, eat high fat and protein, distract yourself from cravings. Like all of that classic advice doesn't work when you're on a raw diet. You have to eat a lot and you have to eat appropriate amounts of fat, and your cravings go away because you're eating food. The number one reason why we crave, aside from psychological reasons or like, connections with childhood, is because we don't eat enough. And out of all the people that I talk, I would say a huge percentage, like over 90% of people who feel like they're eating enough actually aren't eating enough. We'll calculate it and it's like 1,200 calories. Definitely not eating enough. There's a reason why a lot of women lose their period and lose their hair when they go raw, is because they're just not eating enough. So we have to eat more. I hope that helps. And yes, check out that IGTV, because it's really good. It's got a lot of information in it. I want to try your Chinese food meal so bad. You mentioned you could eat it every day. I could. It does take, you have to start it 24 hours before, just like this pizza. We started making the crusts last night. But if you start it 24 hours before you plan to eat it, like the night before, you can enjoy that. It's in meal plan 2. It's called Ginger Belief. It's a really good one. By carbs, she doesn't mean bread and rice. Yeah, I don't eat bread. I don't eat rice. I don't eat beans from a can. I don't eat quinoa. I don't eat millet. I don't eat any of that. By carbs, I mean whole produce, fresh carbs. What are we fixing today? Great question. We're doing 3 things. This kind of, I'm just like in the kitchen, and I just thought I'd pop on and chat with you guys. What we're doing is washing tomatoes and other veggies with the Norwex wash. Again, link in bio if anyone's interested. We are also marinating mushrooms and bell peppers and onions and stuff for our pizza that we're having tonight. We're making some of Chris Kendall's pizzas, the smoky barbecue and the nacho cheese, a nacho cheese pizza. But we'll prep those ingredients right before, because it's guacamole and salsa, which we can make really quick at dinner time. I'll just have to soak some cashews to make our sour cream and nacho cheese sauce. So that's coming later tonight. But I just need to prep the veggies. And the final thing is I'm making my lunch dressing. I'm just going to prep the dressing and chop the salad. And then I have to take Koba out for a walk, our little dog. And then once we get back, then I'll just pour the dressing over my salad and have lunch. So that's what we're doing here. I just have to chop everything and get it all prepped. First time watching, liking what you're saying. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. So glad to have you here. Do you do double batches of warm food? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't eat warm food. I don't cook anything. So I will make double batches of salad dressing if I'm gonna have some later in the evening, or if I make extra for lunch the next day. I will do double batches. But what would you say is high carbs, fruit or veggie? The fruit is going to be higher in carbs because of the higher amount of sugar, but the veggies are going to have carbs in them as well. Is there a reason why you're wondering that? I would say definitely carbs. I believe that fruit is what we need for energy and hydration. That's fruit. The protein, minerals, I mean, we get minerals and protein from fruit too, but like we're talking like major categories here. Fruit is for calories, energy, and hydration. The greens and the veggies are for the minerals, the fiber, the protein, all of that kind of stuff. So we need both. I don't do all fruit diets and I don't do all greens diets. I do about 50-50 of each. However, the majority of my cat, meow meow. You guys want to see Kitty? Come here. Ah, there he is. Yeah, the majority of my calories do come from fruit, but I do eat a huge amount of greens because I have 2 salads a day and a lot of other veggies. I love vegetables. I love savory dishes, but I also love my fruit. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I feel that they're both important for a healthy, balanced diet on raw food, or anything really. We need both. And we all know that, right? We all know we need to be eating fruits and veggies. It's just that society has brought us to fear fruit because we eat too many fats. We just eat way too many fats, and that's causing insulin resistance. So when people have like a sugar crash, it's not the fruit that's the problem. It's what they ate before. It's all the fat they ate before that is actually the root cause of the problem. So again, if you're interested, watch the 1 hour IGTV live that I did with Robbie from Mindful Diabetic if you want more information on why low fat and why it's okay to eat fruit. Food prep makes such a difference. How do you buy cashews or where? They're so expensive. Yeah, they are. They're not like a major part of our diet. And because we don't spend money on packaged foods or eating out or junk or snacks or whatever, we have a lot of extra money to buy cashews. So it's not that big of a deal. But we don't get organic cashews. Well, we just save a little money there. But yeah, you seem to eat more veggies. Well, it might, I do volume eat more veggies because the salads are huge, but the calories are concentrated in the fruit. As you'll see with my lunch dressing, I'm gonna be using 5 or 6 dates, probably 5 because the dates are pretty big, but 5 dates is like 300 calories. So I'm getting more calories in the dressing than I am in the salad, even though the salad is huge because it's a whole head of lettuce, but a whole head of lettuce is only 100 calories. So I'm getting 3 times the amount of calories in my dressing from the dates than I am from the lettuce, but it's more volume of lettuce. So it looks like I'm eating more veggies, but the majority of the calories come from fruit. What are your thoughts on fermented foods and salads? I love fermented foods. I am pro fermented foods to an extent. I mean, you're not gonna wanna like live on them, but they're a great condiment. They have some good bacteria, that kind of thing. They do help with digestion a little bit. I like the, what am I doing here? I like kimchi, vegan kimchi, or raw vegan kimchi. There's a place here that has some raw kimchi. And sauerkraut, you can get raw sauerkrauts. I know Wild Brine, they're a company that we buy here, and I've seen it even in Canada. So they're a California company. I'm sure you guys have seen it. They make like a sriracha kimchi, like hot sauce, and that's pretty cool. We use that too on our salads. Here's these, peeling the onions, right? Oh, the joys of food prep. I'm also taking my time because I'm on live with you, so. Normally, it would not take me this long to prep, but it's because I'm chatting and I'm just kind of chilling. What are your thoughts on psyllium husk? Seems like it would cause some stickiness in the gut. I actually don't find that unless you eat too much of it. And when I use it in my recipes, I'm using maybe like, I don't know, there is some in the pizzas, but when I use it in mine, I'm only using like 1 or 2 tablespoons. And you really just need to have a lot of water when you eat it to prevent any excess. I wouldn't say stickiness. It's not sticky. It's because it sucks up a lot of water. And so it kind of like holds a lot of that water. So it seems like it's sticky, but it's just retaining all of that water because there's no gluten in it. So it's not sticky from gluten. But it's definitely a great fiber for sure. But you do have to drink a lot of water throughout the day, not with it, just throughout the day. So that when it's taking water from your colon, you still have a lot of hydration in your body. So drinking before meals really helps if you're going to use psyllium. Do you take probiotic or digestive enzymes? Sometimes I will take probiotics. I use probiotics to ferment my cashew cheese, and I do have some in the drawer, but it's definitely not a regular thing. Like, it's not something that I'm always taking every single day, but we do have bottles of it and we do take it once in a while just cause. Otherwise, yeah. My cat's playing with the carpet. Oh, and my eyes. Starting to cry. I love you guys. No. I'm actually going to set this red onion aside for our salsa that we're going to put on the salad tonight. So we'll just grab another bowl here. We'll just put that in there and save that for tonight. And otherwise, here is our red onion. I did set some aside for my salad for lunch. And then the rest is gonna go in this bowl. Here we go. And I also want to do a yellow onion. So we'll chop this really fast. I love onions, guys, if you haven't been able to tell yet. Onions are awesome. Tell me about the knife you are using and which miso do you recommend? Oh my gosh, there's so many questions. Thank you, guys. Oh, wow. Okay, so the miso, I like Miso Master chickpea miso. That's the one that we use here. We don't use a soy-based one. We use the chickpea miso. And as for, what was the other question? The knife. This knife we got at Bed Bath & Beyond. It was cheap, like $5. It's nothing special. The thing is, we just like to keep our stuff sharp. So we sharpen our knives every day or two, just to keep them really nice and sharp. But yeah, it's nothing special. I like it because it's pink. Nate has a blue one, of course. He loves blue, and I love pink, so pink and purple. There's our onion. So also we've got very inspired by your content work ethic, Lissa. Hope to match your output before the year ends. Thank you. Yeah, sometimes I feel like I don't do enough. And I know that sounds very strange to somebody looking in, but I do feel like I could be doing more. I could be organizing my time better. I could be helping more people. Like I'm constantly trying to be better. But it's hard. It's hard when sometimes I want to relax, and I do feel a little lazy, especially with workouts. I don't work out the way I wish I did. And I know that's just, I mean, we're all works in progress, right? We're all unfinished masterpieces. So we just have to kind of like be gentle with ourselves and keep going. And it's daily focus. It really is. I find that the raw diet is so easy now because I've been doing it for 6 years. This is food. And I don't think about anything else. It's so easy. But other things I find a little bit more difficult, like working out every day, meditating or stretching even. Like I love doing it, I just don't feel like I'm quite there yet with the scheduling. So that's definitely something I need to take my own advice on and get with that. But yeah, and thank you for that. That's very kind of you to say. So I'm just going to save. Again, I want some of these for my lunch. So I'm gonna put a bunch in here for my lunch salad. And the rest is going into the marinade. I also, okay, so we've got the soaking veggies. They're probably good to go. I'll just grab my towel and we'll rinse and dry these. When you first went raw, did you make these kinds of dishes or did you start more simply? I did make these kinds of dishes. I mean, not necessarily the pizza because it wasn't really a recipe at the time, but I did make other recipes. Like I made like dips and stuff. I'd marinate things. I made my raw chili, and that takes all day to make. I'd make other stuff, like I'd make pierogies, raw pierogies with turnips, and I'd make like meatballs for like marinaras or spaghettis. So I did do a lot of stuff. I mean, the thing is that any diet that is home cooked is gonna take time. I spent more time making cooked food than I do making raw food. I know it seems like it's a lot of work, but it's actually not as much. Again, I'm chatting with you guys, so I'm not really working as fast as I normally would. But yeah, it really is, it's gonna take time no matter what. If you're raw or if you're cooked or whatever, Unless you are putting stuff in the oven because you bought it pre-made, you're gonna be spending time in the kitchen. That's just how it goes. That's just how home cooking goes. So yeah, it's not, I know it seems like a lot of work, but it's really not if you don't want it to be either. Like you could do quick salads, like just chop. Like yesterday's salad only took me, I think in total, like 10 or 12 minutes to make. I just made a really quick dressing, very similar to this one. And I just chopped some lettuce, chopped some tomatoes, cucumber, threw in some already chopped cabbage, and you could add sprouts or whatever. Very easy. You can use cherry tomatoes. You don't even have to chop them. You can just throw them in whole if you want. They're small enough. But yeah, you can save time chopping, or you can take the time. And I actually love being in the kitchen because it's kind of a meditative kind of state that I can get into. I can listen to podcasts. I can be with myself. I can connect with my food. I'm just like so happy that I have the ability to do this. I'm just very, very grateful. So again, it really is perspective. If you want to enjoy it, you can. You just have to get into that state. I know that might not have time, which is a thing. I mean, there's many days where I have no time. I'm just like, in those states, I'll just blend a smoothie or whatever, because it's just easy to do that. But I do like to take the time to make my food. And I also noticed that making food, like making your lunch in the morning when you first get up, like when you make your smoothie, just chopping everything for lunch, makes a world of difference. It's really, really good to do that. So, miso. What brand of probiotics do you take? Garden of Life is the one that we have. Is cashew cheese or other cheese recipes in which books? The cashew cheese, the sour cream, the nacho cheese sauce, all of that is in Dips and Dressings. I don't have it with me right now, but the Dips and Dressings book has the fermented cashew cheese recipes and also some like blender cheesy style recipes. So if you're looking for those, they're gonna be in the Dips and Dressings book. And they're really good. But you wanna soak your cashews for about minimum of 4 hours. That makes it creamier. You don't have to. If you don't soak your cashews, they're going to be chunky in the Vitamix, like kind of grainy. But if you soak them for a minimum of 4 hours, I like 6 hours to be the best, then your cheese is really, really creamy. Like kind of the sour cream turns out almost like sour cream. So I remember being on the news once and I made tacos on the news, and we were backstage, and the guy who was going to interview me, he tried some of the cashew cheese that I'd made. He's like, wait, I thought you said you're dairy free. And I'm like, yeah, that's made from cashews. He's like, no, this is the actual sour cream. I was like, no, that's made from cashews. And he totally didn't believe it, which was so awesome. But yeah, it's very similar, and a lot of people are quite wowed with that one. But that recipe is in Dips and Dressings, cashew sour cream. It's the base of a lot of my creamier recipes. I like the cashews. If you can't do cashews, you could do sunflower, but it will change the taste and texture. But that's a decent alternative to cashews. But yeah, except in the fermented. If you ferment sunflower seeds, it ends up like hummus, which is cool too, but it doesn't taste like sour cream necessarily. Still yum, but just not the same. Woo. Right, we're almost done here with this prep. I miss eggs, bacon, breakfast. You know what I say? I think it's more of a mindset. The only reason you miss eggs and bacon is because you've had eggs and bacon. People who haven't had eggs and bacon won't miss it because they don't have a frame of reference for that. You can use like a tofu scramble with a salt called kala namak. It's Indian black salt. It's very, very sulfur heavy, so it kind of tastes and smells like eggs. So that could work. You can make eggplant bacon, like we are working on a recipe to make eggplant bacon so that you could do that. The problem is though, that's a high protein, high fat breakfast, which is definitely not the way to start the day. You want to start the day with a full tank of gas, and the best gas for humans is fruit. So the best breakfast is actually that, and you're probably just craving past flavors, past comforts, past connections with those foods, and it's okay to have those memories. It's about releasing it and saying, that was my past and I enjoyed it, but we're looking towards the future now. We're changing our breakfast. We're no longer doing that. And it's not that you can't have it, it's that you choose not to. It's you choose something different, something that is going to get you further ahead. And you can always look back on fond memories and just be like, oh, good times, they were good times. But you're moving forward, so it's okay. And a lot of people will feel guilty if they kind of like miss old foods and stuff like that. It's okay to think about them. Just don't live in the past like, oh, I wish I could have this. I wish that blah, blah, blah. But instead focus on the good, positive changes that you're making. Focus on all of the amazing foods that you can eat and make new favorites. Make new favorites. That's my advice for that. But again, you can find alternatives like the tofu scramble. I know some of my friends that are not raw will do tofu scrambles and stuff like that. But as a raw vegan, I mean, I do have an omelet recipe. You can find the omelet recipe in Meal Plan 2. It's made with young Thai coconut and kalanamak, that salt, the black salt. But it's not meant to be a breakfast. It's meant to be like a dinner because it's higher fat. And we want to have carbs in the morning to fuel us for the day because the fats just pull us down. They satiate us because they take forever to digest. So just not the most ideal, I would say. I hope that helps. I'm adding this jalapeno to my pizza stuff. Just gonna chop it nice and fine. I'm also gonna chop this other one. If you don't like the spicy from jalapenos, take the inside out. The easiest way is to roll the jalapeno, and it's a lot easier to take the center out. It's the center and the seeds that cause extra spice. It's still gonna be spicy, just not as much. Whoops. Just not as much as if you take the seeds out. So I'm gonna put a whole jalapeno in there, and this one here I'm just gonna chop for our other stuff. Sweet. Yeah, all right. So that's gonna go in here. And I believe that's all I wanted to put in the marinade. So again, for those who are new, this is going to be toppings for our pizza tonight, for the Chris Kendall smoky barbecue pizza. And I'm just gonna mix this all together. Delicious, delicious, yes. Oh. Let's see here. Do we have any other questions? Is the flavor of cooked concentrated enhanced by using the dehydrator? I'm trying to imagine what food would taste like when drying, like raw pizza. It does, the flavors do concentrate. The reason why flavors concentrate is the elimination of water. So as you dehydrate, the water in the food is evaporating and getting blown away by the fan. So it's drying the food, and so everything else that's in the food stays behind. The water is released. We don't use our dehydrator like to dry things fully. Like we rarely do crackers or fully dried stuff like that, just because it's dehydrating on the body. Your body has to find the water to help digest it. But when we do like the pizzas and stuff, the crust is in there for only 5 hours and it's still soft and pliable. There's still some hydration left in it. And then the pizza toppings are really only in there for like 2, maybe 3 hours. And then we take it out. The sauce is is also in for an hour. It's just the drying process. So the flavors are enhanced when you dehydrate. But yeah, it's a great tool to have, especially if you are trying to transition to raw, to just, you know, you could put all of this on a tray and throw it in a dehydrator for an hour or so, and yeah, it'll taste amazing. I have 2 very young children and I make food for my whole family. I have a hard time preparing all of these dishes. That is, so everybody in our house except for Jacob eats raw. So it is easier that way, but we do still cook for Jacob. We still make stuff for him on certain days. And what we like to do is we like to combine our raw stuff with his cooked stuff. So say we're making something like this, I'll chop it all for us, right? And I'll chop extra for him. I'll marinate it just the same way as I would do raw. And I would put his portion in a pan with some noodles and make a stir fry. So it's a lot easier than making a completely different dish for another person or for other people, is to try to combine the raw, because we should all be eating more raw anyways. So we can combine it with the cooked food. If you're making a big giant salad, which I have to chop right now, if you're making a big giant salad, then you can easily add that to their meal, add a salad, so that you're not just chopping for you, but you're chopping for them as well. And another thing too, if you are doing, like if you are eating more salads and the family's eating more salads, you can just bake a sweet potato, which really doesn't take very much time. It's just waiting for the oven. You can just put one little baked potato in their raw salad if they really need that little bit of cooked. But yeah, it's about timing it so that you guys are eating the sort of the same stuff. Like if you're chopping tomatoes, you make them something with tomatoes in it. Or if you're making a marinara, you can make a raw marinara and just throw it in a pan. Like you don't have to have a different sauce for them. And most times people really love the raw stuff anyways. So you can say you make a raw pad thai sauce for your salad. They might really like the pad thai. There's so much spices from the jalapeno. They might really like your pad thai and they might want it on their potatoes. Spices, oh my gosh. Woo! Okay, so we've got the tomatoes done here, just because I need this washing thing for the lettuce. I'm gonna dump this water. It's a little gross, see? I don't know if you can see, but it's gross. So I'll dump this and spray more of the fruit and veg wash in here. Don't need a lot. And then fill it up with water again. And I'll chop my lettuce. Lettuce chopping is so easy. So start like this, you go like this, you go like this, and then you go like this. This is how it takes me no time to chop lettuce. It's very, very easy. Then I take my salad spinner that's full of my cleaning stuff. I pour my lettuce in. And any other ingredients that you want to chop and wash, like if you're doing green onions or whatever, you can add that into there. Oh, you guys are so sweet. I do not intermittent fast. George Fruit asked if I intermittent fast. I don't. I think it's a glorified way to say I skip breakfast. I need breakfast, and I feel like breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I do not intermittent fast. That said, it's very hard for people to get enough calories from raw food in a window, and it causes undereating, and I don't want to fall into that. So the only time I fast is when I'm sleeping. I won't fast any other time. Thank you guys. What dehydrator do you suggest? This one right here is the Excalibur 9 tray. So awesome. Yeah. I could prep and prepare raw all day overcooked foods. Definitely. Me too, me too. Excalibur for sure. The thing I like about raw is that it's mostly cutting and mixing, and like I feel bad for folks still getting burned with all the heavy oil-based cooking. I don't like cooking. I used to, for sure, and it was an adjustment, but I get to still be in the kitchen, I get to still create, I get to still do those kinds of things. The cleanup is incredibly easy. Incredibly easy because it's really just rinsing. I don't use oils in any of my food, so there's no like greasy stuff. I don't have to scrape pots and pans unless I'm making food for Jacob, but otherwise it's so easy. I love it, I love it, I love it. So here's our lettuce. I'm just going to dump the water. And I do like to run one rinse, so I'll just put a little water here and I'll spin this to rinse it. Especially if there's no fat, washing dishes, yes. I've done months of raw periodically in the past 4 years, but never stuck with it consistently. I'm currently on my journey of complete and total living foods lifestyle. It's much more effortless. Awesome, awesome. Yes. Oh, you guys, you're so awesome. I love cashew cheese sauces. I think we all do. Thank you guys so much for all these. So yeah, now I will pour out the rest of the water and do one final spin to get it nice and dry for the salad. Woo. All right. Can you provide a quick intro into sprouting lentils? Yes, it's so easy. Super easy. All right. You can either use like a metal mesh strainer or you can use a jar like this. So these have been sprouting. They are radishes. What you do, day 1, before bed, soak your lentils overnight. Day 2, rinse, drain, rinse, drain, rinse, drain, 3 times a day. Day 3, rinse, drain, rinse, drain, rinse, drain. Day 4, they should be ready. It's really that easy. And again, you can use like a metal, kind of like a mesh strainer, and you could just leave them in there. That works too. But I like that mason jar, it's pretty cool. But definitely very, 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 very easy to sprout lentils. And then you would just start a fresh batch, like soak a new fresh batch, like on the 3rd day or the 2nd day even, if you're eating a lot of them. And I normally use like maybe a 1/4 cup of lentils at a time, but I start a new batch almost every 2nd day. That's ideal. So here is our lettuce for our lunch salad. I'll rinse that later. Actually, we still have some tomatoes to do, so I'm gonna fill this with water, more veg wash, spray that in there, and we can get the rest of our tomatoes in our bowl here. Yay! And there we go. We'll have washed all of our tomatoes. So here's that. And this is a great tip for people who need something quick for salads, is you can actually buy pre-shredded cabbage, pre-grated carrots, cherry tomatoes like I'd mentioned before, and just use those. You can always grate yourself and just have them in a container. Cabbage lasts pretty good. Ooh, full. So cabbage is a great way to just like throw more into your salad. Why not, right? And again, if you have issues digesting cabbage, start with like this much. Start with just a small amount and then work your way up to having larger amounts. Because I can eat like 2 or 3 cups of cabbage in my salad, no problem. All right, next up we've got this is finished, the pizza toppings. They just have to sit and marinate, so I'll just set those aside and they'll marinate all day until dinner. Then I want to, let's see, tomatoes. Let's add some tomatoes to our salad. Here, let's do these 2 heirlooms, and this guy needs to be eaten. This guy needs to be eaten. I would say 4. 4 is pretty good. This is how many tomatoes I'm gonna eat. And this is normal for me. I know a lot of people will put maybe 1 tomato in their salad. I put 4, and they're big ones. Like, this is aroma, this is an heirloom. And I'm having 2 of these. The other one's a little smaller, but still. So it's about volume. We gotta eat more than we think. This tomato is probably only like 15 calories, maybe. This one's maybe like 40 or so. So we need to eat more. That's why I put a lot of dates in my dressing to get the calories, but I'm also getting all the nutrition from the greens and from the tomatoes and from everything else. I believe in variety. I believe in eating a wide variety of foods and not restricting to like just a couple fruits and maybe a little bit of greens here and there. I think it's extremely, extremely important to eat a large variety. And did you know that I was reading this in Doug Evans' book? It's called The Sprout Book. He said that gorillas eat, on average, 142 different plants in their diet, on average. And they're considered a fruitarian primate. So we are definitely under eating in the variety category. That's for sure. So yeah, that's why I'm like huge on variety. The people who eat the biggest variety of fruits and vegetables, like 30 or more different plants a week, have the strongest gut biomes because they're eating those foods every week and they're constantly feeding the good bacteria that thrive on those specific foods. Therefore, it's a lot easier to digest when you eat it more often. People who only eat broccoli once a month are always going to have problems because they're only eating it once a month and they're eating large quantities once a month. It's about eating small amounts every single day to help feed those good bacteria that thrive on those specific foods. So yeah, let's see. Oh, I've got some questions. I gotta answer some questions. Love you so much from Argentina. How about sourdough bread for breakfast? Again, I don't eat any bread. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. So your call, totally your call. It's not raw, but it can be vegan. So I'm all about vegan, eating whole food, plant-based meals for your health, for the animals, for the environment. I mean, I'm vegan for the animals first and foremost, but I'm raw for my health. I think it's the most hydrating way to eat. Do you ever get into kale chips? Sometimes we will make kale chips, but it's not often. And when we do, it's more for like travel or something easy. But I don't think, I maybe had a taste of some kale chips when the kids were here during the evacuation. We had the Gartenzon family here, and I think there was some kale chips. I think someone bought kale chips and I had a couple bites, but it really wasn't a thing. And I find I feel so dry, just like I need more water when I eat them. So it's definitely not part of our diet, but we do eat them once in a while and we do make them sometimes. Mostly for other people, really. Like other people who aren't into raw will make those and they're like, oh yeah, these lives are so fun. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. I'm like, do people like this? Like, is this something that you guys want me to do more often? Because I'm like just answering, I'm just chopping food. I mean, if you guys like it, I'll do these more often for sure. Let me know if you guys like these. What are you using as a crust? Well, the crust is Chris Kendall's recipe. It's in his book, but it's corn-based. But he has other ones that are like zucchini-based and tomato-based. He's got a lot of really awesome recipes. I highly recommend checking his book out. You can find him at The Raw Advantage on Instagram, or therawAdvantage.com to find his recipe books over there. But that's what we're using for the crust, is one of his recipes. It's the Mo corn one. Right now, obviously you guys know it's corn season, so we got some organic corn and we made 6 pizza crusts. The cool thing is that you can freeze the pizza crusts raw. Like, you make them and then you stick them in the freezer. So then when you want to have a pizza, you got a crust ready. And then you just have to make the tomato sauce and the toppings and let it dehydrate until dinner. It's really awesome. So we're gonna make 2 pizzas tonight and then have 4 crusts for later. One day we're just like, hey, we're in the mood for pizza, and we'll just make some pizza. But I always like to have the pizza with a salad if possible. I can really only get through like maybe 3 pieces of pizza because they're so filling. But I like to have a salad before I eat the pizza if possible, to help with the digestion and hydration, and to keep it lower fat too. Do you have any plans to make a pizza recipe book? No, I don't. The reason being is because I think that Chris Kendall is the king of pizza, of raw pizza, and I just think you guys should buy his book because it's amazing, and I think he's awesome, and I think you should support him too. So I won't be making a pizza book, but I will be making a burger book, so that's going to be coming. But his recipes are epic, and I highly suggest them. We use them here, so yeah, dehydrating creates a different texture. It's really cool. If you dehydrate like mushrooms, they get soft, kind of like sauteed. So great. You need that bowl. This bowl is from Superstore in Canada. I bought it 3 or 4 years ago or something like that. It's great. Are you doing anything to prepare for upcoming food shortages? We have a lot of seeds on hand, like lentils, broccoli, radish for sprouting. Sprouting is the #1 thing. I'm not concerned about upcoming food shortages. I'll be 41 in December, and I've heard food shortages going to happen for my whole life. So, and it's not saying that it won't happen, but I'm just kind of like, if it does, it does. I mean, we have food storage just because it's a smart idea to have food storage. Kale chips are great. Dehydrated fruit foods are great. We want to get a freeze dryer for food storage purposes, but also for hiking purposes, because we want to do like hikes where we sleep out in the hammock in the middle of the woods and take our hiking bags with our food in, and dehydrating a smoothie into a powder and then just add water when we are needing it. That'll be really cool. But yeah, we could freeze dry a bunch of meals and have those in storage, but sprouting is going to be the #1 thing for any food shortage stuff. Mostly smoothies for breakfast and no plant milk. I don't think I've had plant milk in 6 years. Actually, don't really eat any plant milk. I don't make my own or anything. It's just extra fat that I don't need. So yeah, smoothies. Every second day, every other day for supplements. Yeah, I just take it when I remember. It's not every day for sure. Don't eat cabbage because it's hard to chew and digest. It's hard to digest because you don't eat it often. And I'm just saying this as like observation. I'm not saying it's 100% true or not, but it is harder to digest because you don't have the gut bacteria that thrive eating it. And the only way to grow that bacteria is to eat it every day. So taking your time with it, shred it really, really thin. That helps with eating as well. And you can marinate it too. That helps to soften it. But yeah, I love cabbage. I eat a lot of cabbage. Do you use citrus in your dressings since you don't use oils? Well, citrus is going to be the sour of the dressing. The oil is the fat part. And when I make my dressings, my oil replacement is actually dates, because the dates kind of emulsify a little bit and make it a little creamy. And you guys, I don't know if this live's just gonna shut off on me or if I get a warning before it's over, but I know we have about an hour, but just in case it shuts off. So I'm putting 5 dates into my dressing here. And so we've got the salad done. or just do the dressing. 5 dates, 1 jalapeno, probably put some mustard powder, some garlic. There's limes in there too, lime juice. I feel like I don't see her use much citrus. I use probably 4 lemons a day or 4 limes. Like I use a lemon in my lemon water. I use a lemon in my lunch, and I use sometimes 2 limes in my dinner dressing. So I do use a lot of citrus in my dressings. And you could use apple cider vinegar too. I like to use both. It's kind of a great combo. For me, I like it. But yeah, citrus. Do you juice? I do not juice. We don't have a juicer. I will drink juice if I'm like out and there's a fresh pressed juice place, or go to a raw restaurant and they have like juice combos. I might get one there, but I don't juice. I don't drink a lot of juice. Do you ever leave zucchini noodles in marinades? No, because they get really soft and soggy and I don't like it, but you could try. You could definitely try. Love that family must get her onion rings. Yeah, Garden Zone family, they have an onion ring recipe that they're gonna put in their book. So good. I'm going to have a similar one in mine for the burger book. Most of her dressings are thick. They're not particularly thin like an oil. You can actually thin the dressings out, just add more water and a little bit more on the vinegar side. So it's more like a vinaigrette. But the problem with that is that there's so much of it and you want it more concentrated to get the calories from the dates. And yeah, tahini or cashews or hemp for my fats. I use whole fats. I do not use oils. More often. You guys want these lives more often? Yay! I'll do these more often. I love it. Love the way you answer the questions. Very honest, informative, and interesting. Thank you. That's a pretty huge salad and lots of tomatoes. I could probably eat half. Yeah, this is my lunch and this is typically dinner. It's pretty big. But the reason being, again, I need to eat enough calories, so I have to eat that much. And you get used to it. You do get used to it. But it's a focus. Focus on the salad. Don't play on your phone. Don't watch. I mean, you could watch TV, but I don't recommend it. Maybe read a book while you're eating it. Something that you can really focus on eating and not talking and all that kind of stuff, because it can fill you up with air and impede digestion too. Aww. Never too many lives. I love it. You could watch them daily. Oh, you're awesome. I think the lives are a great way to have a bit more real-time casual connection. I love it. This is great. Thanks, guys. Do you use salt? I've been hearing about sea salt and pink Himalayan salt isn't good. The thing is that yes, they're inorganic minerals, but if it helps you to eat this salad, then eat it. Just in small amounts. I mean, it's about what is helping you to eat more raw food and to get off the junk, really. So I don't use a lot of salt. I will use like 1/8 of a teaspoon in certain recipes, like fermenting cashew cheese. I like to add salt to that. And there's very, very few recipes that I do add salt to, just because it just needs that edge, or it needs it for fermenting. Otherwise, I get my salt from coconut aminos and miso. So those would be more organic salts because it's fermented. So yeah, it's totally your call. I don't feel that they're poisonous or toxic. I don't like when people use poisonous, toxic, dangerous, all of those words, because it's not. It is in high amounts, but if you're just using 1/8 of a teaspoon once a week, it's not the end of the world. Just work your way of slowly eliminating it as much as you can, but don't get into that purist mindset where you feel like you suck because you're still eating a small amount of salt. Please don't do that. Just focus on eating more raw foods and just being better than you were yesterday. Don't fall into that mindset believing that certain things are toxic, like Lysol's toxic, but a little bit of salt is definitely not. And I don't buy into it. I don't eat a lot of it because I know what it does in the body when you eat too much, but I don't eliminate it at all anyways, because I do have low blood pressure. And if I eliminate salt completely after a couple of weeks, I do feel like lightheaded. And then if I just add it like miso or coconut aminos back or whatever, just a small amount makes a huge difference. So it is very individual. and just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. That's my 2 cents on that. And the reason why people say the salt is good is because it's high in minerals, but the minerals are inorganic, so it's a little bit different for your body to digest those minerals. It's better to eat them from wild foods, because those foods like the plant actually converts the inorganic mineral into an organic mineral that you can absorb. So that's the theory on it, but I have noticed some people do phenomenally well by adding trace minerals back to their water, for example, or drinking spring water. That changes a lot. So yeah, that's a whole debate in itself, but yeah, I still use a small amount of salt in coconut aminos and miso, and sometimes a little bit in certain dressings. Favorite meals, what to eat when it's cold. Don't eat things right out of the fridge. As you see, all of our tomatoes stay on the counter. Our cucumbers, for the most part, stay on the counter. If we're gonna eat the cucumbers, we take a couple out of the fridge and let them come to room temperature. Our lettuce, we wash in warm water to bring the temperature back to room temperature. Almost all of our fruit stays on the counter. Our apples, our bananas, our mangoes, our melons, our pineapples, our lemons, our limes, everything on the counter. Avocados, I'm trying to see what else I have. Pears, olives on the counter. The only things that really go in the fridge are like lettuce, cabbage, greens, really, celery, carrots, if we get them, and herbs like cilantro and berries, because berries tend to go bad fast. But the thing is to not eat cold foods when it's cold. You want to eat room temperature stuff. Plus, it's not good to eat cold food anyways. For the most part, I mean, if you're gonna do nice cream, then do it, right? But it's best to do it on an empty stomach because it kind of slows digestion a little bit. But that said, for in the cold, I do like my raw chili. I like the ramen. I like a marinara. I do like the raw pizza. Those are some kind of, I have like a Taj tomato, kind of like a curry. Those are really good too. So I'll make those. I'll blend it in the Vitamix. Let's see what else we got. Can you turn the live back on? I actually have so much to do today. Aside from all of this, I gotta take Koba for a walk. I gotta eat this salad, and I have so many videos that I need to edit for you guys. The first video is up on YouTube right now if you want it for Vlogtober. What's your dressing gonna be? It's basically just date, jalapeno, mustard, garlic, which I should add, lime juice. Maybe I'll add some chia seeds. But yeah, it's not a recipe that I have anywhere. I just kind of making it up as I go. I do that a lot. Salt is dehydrating, but we still need sodium. But we do get it from our fruits and vegetables, but you have to eat a lot of them, and most people don't eat enough. So yeah. Celery is good for salt. What do you eat for breakfast? Normally I eat smoothies for breakfast. Coconut aminos better than tamari. I like coconut aminos better than tamari, way less salt. And it's just fermented coconut tree sap. So I do like coconut aminos. Can I ask about teeth health of yours as a raw vegan? They haven't gotten worse, that's for sure, in 6 years, but I do have a hole up here and I have a damaged tooth here, but that was all before I went raw or vegan. I damaged my mouth really bad with all the junk that I used to eat before, all the energy drinks I used to drink. So yeah, my teeth are kind of damaged from that. But raw food hasn't made it worse. My sensitivity has gone away since becoming raw. Yeah, I would say on average, my teeth are better, even though I still need to fix some stuff from before, because I really damaged my body before. Let's see. Do you have a work background in nutrition? You're very well informed on the diet. I love watching you in these lives. Thank you. I've been in the natural health industry since 2001. So it's been almost 20 years that I've been working in natural health, and I've known about the raw diet for 16 years. And my whole story video is coming out tomorrow, so you guys should watch it. Yeah. So you guys, I think this is going to end soon. So if I didn't get to your questions, I'm sorry. We will be going live again another time. I'm going to just finish up this dressing. take Kobe for a walk and have the salad, but I'll see you in my stories. Thank you so much for joining. I know I didn't get to everyone's questions. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Again, if you're interested in the Norwex stuff, link is in my bio. And if you're from Canada and want to order it, send me a message, direct message, and I can hook you up with where to get that. But thank you again. We'll like get our little green onions on here, make a pretty salad, have some lunch. And thank you for making compassionate choices, you guys. I love you, and I'll see you at the next live.